She is the only singer to have a #1 record in the US in 5 separate decades. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're taking a look at the life and career of Barbra Streisand. Barbra Jones Streisand was born on April 24, 1942 in Brooklyn, New York. As a teen, she started singing in local nightclubs and acting in theatrical productions. In the early 1960s, she landed her first Broadway role in a musical called I Can Get It For You Wholesale.
If he had any sense, he'd be in bed with a graduate nurse.
Her Grammy-winning debut, the Barbra Streisand album, came out in 1963. This was followed by 2 extremely successful records, the second Barbra Streisand album and the third album. In 1964, Streisand returned to Broadway in the musical Funny Girl. 4 years later, she won an Oscar for reprising this role in its film adaptation.
Was that necessary? You couldn't walk over here like a person.
Streisand had her first #1 album with 1964's People, and its title cut subsequently became one of her signature tunes.
They're the luckiest people in the world.
Up next was a string of highly successful albums that were tied in with television specials. The most significant was the Emmy-winning program My Name is Barbra, which helped turn Streisand into a star.
I run and then I hop, hop, hop. I wish that I could fly.
She reached #1 again in 1967 with A Christmas Album. 2 years later, Streisand switched gears and recorded modern pop songs on the commercially disappointing album What About Today? However, she proved herself a pop force with 1971's Stony End. To keep up with her acting career, Streisand appeared in such films as the Oscar-winning Hello, Dolly and the Golden Globe-winning The Owl and the Pussycat.
I'm suggesting that you're extrapolating from your own sordid, empathetic environment.
You know what? If I weren't so refined, I'd beat the crap out of you.
Her popularity only increased, and by the 1970s, she was proclaimed the most successful female singer in the US. Many of the hits that led to her extraordinary record sales came from the soundtracks of her films. Examples included the title cut from The Way We Were, Evergreen Love Theme from A Star Is Born, and The Main Event from the soundtrack of the same name.
I can't wait, I gotta celebrate.
Other successful singles included her duet with Neil Diamond, You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
You don't say you need me.
You don't sing me love songs.
However, it was 1980's Guilty that became one of Streisand's best-selling albums.
Our devotion, and we got nothing to be sorry for. Our love is 1 in a million.
With songs written by B.G. Barry Gibb, the record produced the Grammy-winning title track and the massively successful single Woman in Love.
I am a woman in love, and I'm talking to you.
Up next was the 1983 musical film Yentl, which Streisand co-wrote, co-produced, directed, and starred in. She became the first woman to win a Best Director Golden Globe as a result of this film.
What do you think I did to
I don't
her?
know. You kissed her, you caressed her, you held her.
All right.
What?
That.
What?
I did everything, just like you said. What else do you want to know?
Did she make sounds? Did she scream?
She did a little screaming, then she went to sleep.
She went back to making music in 1984 with the effort Emotion. This was followed by 1985's The Broadway album. This record discarded the rock and disco vibe Streisand had adopted and marked a return to her musical theater roots.
Quicksand in the clouds, what a surprise, who could foresee?
In 1988, she released the album Till I Loved You. In 1991, she directed, produced, and starred in the Oscar-nominated movie The Prince of Tides.
You really pissed me off today. But you made me think about some things.
Well, don't make it a habit or I'll have to start charging you.
2 years later, she was back at #1 on the pop charts with the album Back to Broadway. She also performed her first shows in over 25 years, having previously avoided touring due to stage fright. 1996 saw Streisand again take on jobs in front of and behind the camera. The Mirror Has Two Faces was a success, and its soundtrack produced Streisand's first top 10 hit in several years, I Finally Found Someone, with Bryan Adams.
This is it. Oh, I finally found someone.
Streisand had her 8th #1 album in 1997 with Higher Ground.
Tell him that the sun and moon rise in his eyes.
By millennium's end, she reclaimed her spot as the top female singer in the US. She followed this up with the holiday record Christmas Memories in 2001 and the movie album in 2003.
I'm in the mood for love.
A year later, she appeared in the film Meet the Fockers.
You fuckerized them.
Sure did.
I'd like to fuckerize you.
Then, in 2005, she collaborated again with Barry Gibb on the disc Guilty Pleasures.
'Cause it's so hard letting go, and it's so hard not to cry.
A few years after her record-setting 2006 tour, Streisand came out with her next studio album, Love Is the Answer. Produced by Diana Krall, the 2009 record put her back on top of the Billboard 200. In 2010, Streisand appeared in the movie Little Fockers.
What's this?
What is that? That is your own personal yarmulke.
Oh, one of those little Jewish hats.
With over 200 million albums sold and several Academy Awards under her belt, it is no wonder that Barbra Streisand is one of the world's most popular singers, as well as a critically acclaimed actress, director, and producer.
When